He had seen every kind of performance imaginable. But when this woman walked onto the stage carrying nothing but her extraordinary ability to see truth where others saw only illusion, Simon Cowell realized he was about to witness something that would redefine what it means to reveal rather than conceal reality. The America's Got Talent theater buzzed with familiar energy, but tonight there was an undercurrent of curiosity, as if the audience sensed they were about to experience something that challenged their understanding of perception, magic, and the relationship between what we see and what is actually true. Her name was Maya Rodriguez, 27 years old, walking confidently towards center stage despite being completely blind since birth. She carried herself with the assured movements of someone who had learned to navigate the world through senses that most people never fully develop. But there was something in her bearing that suggested this performance would transcend typical demonstrations of adaptive ability to become something closer to philosophical revelation. Maya had been born with Leber congenital amaurosis, a genetic condition causing complete blindness from birth. But rather than limiting her understanding of the world, her lack of visual input had developed her other senses to extraordinary levels, particularly her ability to detect deception, misdirection, and the gaps between appearance and reality that formed the foundation of magical illusion. Maya wore simple black clothing and carried a small bag containing ordinary objects, cards, coins, simple props that any magician might use. But Maya's relationship to these items was fundamentally different. Instead of using them to create illusion, she used them to reveal truth. Maya's journey had begun in childhood when she discovered that her blindness gave her unique insights into magic and illusion. While other children were dazzled by visual tricks, Maya could hear, feel, and sense the mechanical realities behind performances that seemed impossible to sighted observers. Maya has always been able to detect things that escape visual perception, her mother had explained to Dr. Jennifer Chen, her vision specialist. When we took her to magic shows, she would whisper exactly how the tricks were being performed. She could hear the mechanisms, feel the air movements, sense the misdirection that fooled everyone else. Dr. Chen had been fascinated by Maya's abilities, which demonstrated how the absence of one sense could dramatically enhance others. Maya's brain processes auditory, tactile, and spatial information with extraordinary precision. She's developed what amounts to a natural lie detector for physical reality versus artificial manipulation. As Maya grew older, she became increasingly interested in the philosophical implications of her ability to see through illusions. Magic was fundamentally about manipulating visual perception, creating experiences where what people saw contradicted what was actually happening. But as someone who had never relied on visual input, Maya was immune to these manipulations. During college, while studying philosophy and physics, Maya began developing reverse magic, performances that used traditional magical props, not to create illusion, but to reveal truth, to demonstrate the gap between appearance and reality that most people never noticed. Maya's first public performances had been at academic conferences, where she demonstrated how traditional magic tricks could be deconstructed to reveal the psychological and mechanical principles they exploited. Her presentations combined entertainment with education, showing audiences how their perceptual limitations made them vulnerable to deception. But Maya's most profound discovery was that her reverse magic had therapeutic applications. When she performed for audiences dealing with trauma, addiction, or life challenges, her demonstrations of how perception could be manipulated helped people recognize and challenge their own self-deceptive patterns. Maya had begun incorporating psychological elements into her reverse magic, using her demonstrations of perceptual manipulation to help audiences recognize how they might be deceiving themselves about their relationships, their potential, or their understanding of their own experiences. Standing now backstage at AGT, Maya felt the familiar calm that came from knowing her performance would reveal rather than conceal, illuminate rather than mystify, and demonstrate that truth was more interesting and valuable than illusion. Tonight, she would attempt to show that blindness could provide extraordinary clarity, that the absence of visual input could enhance rather than diminish understanding. The audience's reaction was immediate curiosity mixed with respectful attention. Here was a woman whose confidence suggested extraordinary capabilities despite her obvious visual impairment. Simon leaned forward, intrigued by someone whose bearing suggested she had something important to reveal about the nature of reality, performance, and the relationship between what we think we see and what actually exists. "Hello," Simon said gently. "What's your name, and what brings you to our stage tonight?" "My name is Maya Rodriguez," she began, her voice carrying clear confidence. "I'm here to demonstrate something about perception, truth, and the ways that not seeing can sometimes provide the clearest view of reality. I've been blind since birth, but rather than limiting my understanding of the world, my blindness has given me unique insights into something that fascinates most people: magic and illusion. While others are fooled by what they see, I experience the truth behind the tricks." Simon felt something shift in his understanding. This wasn't going to be a performance about overcoming disability. This was someone who had discovered that her difference provided access to insights that others couldn't achieve. "Tonight, I want to perform what I call reverse magic," Maya continued. "Instead of creating illusions that fool your eyes, I'm going to reveal the truth behind illusions that normally fool everyone." "You're saying you can expose magic tricks?" one judge asked with curiosity. Maya smiled with quiet confidence. "My blindness allows me to experience magic the way it actually happens, rather than the way it appears to happen. While you're being misdirected by visual elements, I'm hearing, feeling, and sensing the mechanical reality that creates the illusion." Maya opened her bag and removed a deck of playing cards. Magic is essentially applied psychology. It works by manipulating assumptions and perceptual limitations that sighted people share. But since I've never relied on visual input, these manipulations don't affect me. "Show us what you mean," Simon said. Maya positioned herself at center stage and held up the cards. "First, I want someone from the audience to perform a simple card trick, and I'll explain exactly how it works without being able to see what they're doing." A volunteer came forward and performed a basic trick. As he worked through the steps that normally amazed audiences, Maya provided real-time commentary that revealed each element of misdirection and mechanical manipulation. "I can hear the way you're handling the cards, the slight difference in pressure when you're controlling the selection versus allowing genuine choice," Maya explained. "I can sense the timing patterns that indicate when you're using misdirection, and I can feel the tension in your movements that shows when you're performing practiced versus improvised actions." The audience was amazed not by the magic trick, which had been thoroughly demystified, but by Maya's extraordinary sensory awareness. "What you've just seen," Maya said, "is that magic only works when you accept the limitations of visual perception. When you rely on other senses, the illusion disappears and the mechanical reality becomes obvious." Maya produced several props commonly used in magic performances and began demonstrating how each could be manipulated to create effects that seemed impossible to visual observation, but were easily understood through tactile and auditory analysis. "This rope trick appears to restore a cut rope to its original state," Maya explained. "Visually, it seems impossible, but when you feel the construction of the rope, you can detect the hidden mechanisms that create the illusion." As Maya demonstrated each trick, she provided detailed explanations of the psychological principles being exploited, how assumptions about object permanence and causal sequences could be manipulated to create experiences that contradicted physical reality. The same principles that make these tricks work also operate in how we understand our own lives, Maya continued. "We make assumptions about what's possible based on limited information, and those assumptions can prevent us from recognizing opportunities we actually possess." "Maya," Simon said, clearly moved, "what you're doing goes far beyond exposing magic tricks. You're teaching us about the nature of reality and assumption." "Exactly," Maya replied. "Magic works because people accept that their visual experience represents complete truth, But vision is just one way of gathering information about reality, and often not the most accurate way. For her final demonstration, Maya asked several audience members to join her on stage for a complex interactive demonstration that revealed how group perception could be manipulated and how individual insight could penetrate collective illusion. What you're experiencing, Maya explained, is that truth becomes available when you're willing to question appearances, trust alternative sources of information, and maintain independence from assumptions that might be limiting your understanding. When Maya completed her performance, the audience erupted in sustained appreciation for having received something much more valuable than entertainment. They had been given tools for clearer thinking and more accurate perception. Simon stood up, understanding that Maya had demonstrated something far more significant than magical skill. She had proven that perceived limitations could become sources of insight, that alternative approaches could provide clearer vision than conventional methods. Maya, Simon said, walking onto the stage, what you've just done challenges everything I thought I knew about perception, ability, and the relationship between limitation and insight. You've demonstrated that blindness can provide vision, that different ways of processing information can lead to clearer understanding, and that what we think of as disabilities can actually be sources of extraordinary capability. As the golden buzzer activated, Simon said, Maya, you've shown us that the clearest vision sometimes comes from those who see differently, and that truth is more magical than any illusion. 6 months later, Maya established the Clear Vision Institute, teaching people how to develop more accurate perception by learning to question visual assumptions. Her techniques proved valuable for law enforcement professionals and individuals wanting to make better decisions by seeing past superficial appearances. Maya's work attracted attention from psychologists and researchers studying perception. Universities began incorporating her reverse magic techniques into curricula about logic and critical thinking. Years later, Maya's approach influenced fields from security to education, as her principles found applications wherever clear perception was important. The reverse magician, who revealed rather than concealed, had demonstrated that blindness could provide the clearest vision, that different abilities could lead to superior insights, and that the magic of truth was more powerful than any illusion. The AGT episode featuring Maya became a viral sensation, sparking global conversations about perception and reality. Magic schools reported unprecedented enrollment in courses exploring the psychology behind illusions, while universities began studying Maya's case as an example of neuroplasticity and sensory adaptation. Maya fundamentally changed how we understand the relationship between sight and insight, explained Dr. Chen during a neuroscience conference. She proved that visual impairment can mean perceptual enhancement in areas that sighted people never develop. The Clear Vision Institute expanded internationally with programs in 30 countries. Maya's reverse magic techniques were adapted to different cultural contexts while maintaining core principles of truth revelation. Detective Sarah Williams credited Maya's training with solving a complex fraud case. Maya taught me to stop trusting what I thought I was seeing and start listening to what was actually happening. The suspect's vocal patterns revealed deception that visual evidence had concealed. The Institute developed specialized programs for judges learning to detect courtroom deception, therapists identifying resistance patterns, and medical professionals improving diagnostic accuracy through enhanced observation skills. 3 years after AGT, Maya's work attracted neuroscientists studying brain plasticity. Advanced brain imaging revealed that Maya's enhanced sensory processing involved neural networks that remained underdeveloped in most sighted individuals. Maya's brain shows extraordinary connectivity between auditory, tactile, and spatial processing centers, explained neuroscientist Dr. Patricia Martinez. Her abilities appear to be based on genuine neurological advantages rather than just trained techniques. Maya's influence extended into security agencies and technology companies, consulting her insights for developing better fraud detection systems and lie detection algorithms. 5 years later, Maya published Seeing Truth, A Guide to Reality Beyond Vision, which became essential reading for investigative professionals. The book taught readers how to develop enhanced sensory awareness and recognize when visual perceptions might be misleading. Maya's most groundbreaking innovation was developing truth detection environments, specially designed spaces that minimized visual distractions while amplifying audio and tactile cues, revealing authentic versus deceptive behavior patterns. Maya's therapeutic applications proved particularly powerful for individuals recovering from manipulation or abuse. Her techniques helped people recognize and trust their intuitive responses to potentially dangerous situations. Maya taught me to listen to what my body was telling me about people rather than just believing what they said, explained workshop participant Jennifer Chen. Her training probably saved my life by helping me recognize warning signs I'd been conditioned to ignore. The Institute's programs for trauma survivors focused on rebuilding trust in internal warning systems that abusers typically work to undermine. Maya's reverse magic principles helped people distinguish between genuine safety and manipulated appearance of trustworthiness. Years later, Maya reflected on her journey from childhood puzzle solver to international teacher. "I thought my blindness made me different in a limiting way," she said during a university lecture series. "But I learned that it made me different in an enhancing way. It gave me access to information that most people never develop." Maya's research collaboration with technology companies led to breakthrough developments in artificial intelligence systems designed to detect deception through pattern recognition that mimicked her natural abilities. The Institute's most ambitious project involved training newly blind individuals to develop enhanced sensory capabilities rather than simply learning to navigate visual limitations. Maya revolutionized how we approach blindness rehabilitation, explained orientation specialist Dr. Angela Foster. Instead of focusing only on compensation techniques, we now help people discover the enhanced perceptual abilities that often develop when visual processing is eliminated. Maya's most profound discovery was that her reverse magic principles worked not just for detecting external deception, but for recognizing self-deception, the internal illusions people created about their limitations and potential. The same mechanisms that make people vulnerable to magic tricks also make them vulnerable to limiting beliefs about themselves, Maya explained during her TED Talk. When you learn to see through external illusions, you often discover internal truths about your capabilities. The woman who saw through illusions had created a global movement toward more accurate perception, proving that what society considered limitations could become sources of extraordinary insight when approached with curiosity and commitment to revealing truth.